Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Attorney Jeremy Hogan explains why the SEC v. Ripple case is more complicated than a simple win or lose scenario. And in fact, as I was reading through his explanation as to why, I actually got a little bit excited about it. Now, I know that within the XRP community, we're all looking for that day where we find out that the case is over, whether that's through settlement or if there's full adjudication, which may be, towards the end of the first half of next year. So in theory, it could be a while. But based on what attorney Jeremy Hogan said, I came to the realization very quickly that we could see XRP price rocket a lot sooner. Because look, I'm like everybody else in the community. I think pretty much all of us assume that once there's a settlement or full adjudication to the positive, the price of XRP is just going to rocket through the stratosphere, right? I don't know to what degree. I don't make price predictions, but that's the expectation, I think, of pretty much everybody in the community. Well, as it turns out, there's reason to believe, I think anyway, that it could happen sooner just based on certain developments, should they occur. And also, I want to share with you something that attorney Deaton had to say. Because as most of you are aware at this point, Ripple has been receiving unprecedented third-party support as 12 amicus briefs have been filed in the lawsuit by third parties that have a vested interest in XRP and the XRP ledger. Well, attorney John Deaton explains what the pivotal moment was that triggered so many participants in crypto to speak up. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so here we go, the latest from attorney Jeremy Hogan, and you're going to find this very interesting. So here's what he shared on Twitter. Ripple v. SEC case. It's more complicated than win or lose. There are 4 ways a legal case is resolved. Number 1, dismissal, and we've passed this stage. Number 2, settlement. 3, summary judgment. And 4, trial. The final resolution is trial, but any piece of a case can be resolved before then. Any piece of the Ripple case could be settled and the remainder left to be tried. Ripple has stated it wants clarity for the XRP token moving forward, and that piece could be settled and the issue of Ripple's past sales could move forward to summary judgment or trial. And so this is exactly why I said what I said at the outset of the video. Because we've all been sitting here waiting for clarity for XRP. We've all made the assumption, and understandably so, that the clarity for XRP wouldn't come until or unless there's settlement or full adjudication in the case. As it turns out, that's not quite precise enough. We could actually have clarity for XRP before the case is 100% complete. Check this out. Attorney Hogan continues. At summary judgment, the judge can rule on any piece of the case and leave the remainder for trial. For example, the judge could rule that no sales of XRP after the implementation of Ripple's on-demand liquidity use for XRP were securities, and everything prior to that will be left for trial. So I'll pause. After I read that, I was just like, oh, I did not realize this. I didn't realize that parts of it could be kind of like settled piecemeal. I understand that there are certain decisions that have been made along the way, but I didn't understand something as consequential of this could be determined before the full case is settled. So that means that even if this damn thing goes to June, Judge Torres, in theory, could come to the conclusion that current sales of XRP effectively, or anything after a particular point in this case, is, in Jeremy's example, would be after utility of on-demand liquidity using XRP as a bridge currency kicked in. Well, if that's the case, we're in the clear. And if news of that gets out, that's just as good as if the whole damn case was settled. Because that's about XRP specifically. That's the part that the whole world's going to care about. Which means if we get something like that, we could just wake up one day and it happens, and markets could be going completely bonkers. So, yeah, as far as whether or not that does happen, I don't pretend to know. But the fact that it could happen is very interesting. I didn't realize that. I'm willing to bet that most of us in the community didn't. And then attorney Hogan continues, and he says, another example. The judge could decide that all sales were securities and leave the issue of damages and scienter of the individual defendants for trial. So let's pause. Yes, it could go horrifically wrong. I'm not pretending that it can't, but I'm very optimistic. It seems to me that The judge understands the gravity of this situation, and I still firmly believe that anybody who comes into this as a blank slate and just wants to understand what's going on will realize that XRP holders are on the right side of history. The SEC is not. And then Attorney Hogan says, also, yes, the judge could rule no sales were of securities, and that covers all the pieces. Thought I'd throw that out there. Ripple has requested that the fair notice defense issue not be decided at summary judgment, but left for trial. This would, of course, only occur if Ripple loses on the securities violation issue, or at least a piece of it. So I'll just pause a note there also. That's why Attorney Deaton has been saying, we don't, fair notice, it is what it is, and Ripple, I'd argue they haven't had fair notice because there's not clarity in the space, and I think most of us agree. But even so, if we get to the point where fair notice is being ruled upon, then something has gone horrifically wrong, because the judge has come to a conclusion that we're not going to be happy with about XRP specifically. And so that's why, as Attorney Deaton puts it, the fair notice defense is Ripple's insurance policy. That's how Attorney Deaton characterizes it, and I think that helps to understand exactly what it is. That's also part of the reason why Ripple didn't put the fair notice defense in their motion for summary judgment. It's not a core argument of theirs. It's something they've argued, but it's not what they want the judge to be looking at in her final determination. That's not the route that Ripple's going anyway. And then Attorney Hogan wraps up by stating, point being, the Ripple case has at least 4 pieces to it, and that leads to about 24 different possible outcomes. No doubt things are looking positive for Ripple, but don't be surprised if the judge issues a ruling and it takes some time to figure out, did they win? Yeah, so, and that's the other thing too, even if the news is to the positive, I don't know how long it's going to take for people globally to digest that. Hopefully we get a lot of legal minds out there, especially within the XRP community, kind of breaking it down for all of us, normies out there. And and because once it's understood, like, people are going to start acting on that, and then even people who don't understand what's going on, if they just see the price of XRP start going up, well, you know how humans behave. It's FOMO time. I don't know what's going on, but take my money. That's what humans do. I know it's ridiculous, but that's what's going on. And then there was also this I wanted to share with you. There was an interview on the Thinking Crypto YouTube channel between host Tony Edward and attorney John Deaton, and this clip was shared by John Deaton's crypto law organization. And they wrote here, what was the pivotal moment when the rest of the crypto community finally realized how high the stakes are in the SEC v. Ripple case? And you may recall, especially in late 2020, right after the lawsuit was filed, all sorts of people, my gosh, it's like tribalism to the max, becoming like easy to spot, like very visual. And there's less of that now, but there are all sorts of people gloating, just gleeful about the SEC going after Ripple, and also as a result of that, XRP holders. But as time has passed, it's sunk in, as people have done their analysis, even the tribal idiots out there. Oh, wait, if this doesn't go well for Ripple and XRP holders, perhaps everything that I hold might be at tremendous risk as well. And so I transcribed what Attorney Deaton said in this clip here. And he said, the pivotal point for the community is in fact when Gary Gensler would not say Ethereum is not a security. Let's just all be honest about it, right? And that's how I look at it. And when he said proof of stake, the merge implicated the securities laws in the United States, and he was only comfortable saying Bitcoin is a commodity, that's when everybody said, okay, this really is a war on all of crypto, and therefore we have to fight it. And isn't it funny how that works, folks? Once you realize that they're coming for you next, potentially, tunes start to change. And then you get the Chamber of Digital Commerce filing an amicus brief in the SEC v. Ripple case, along with the Blockchain Association, along with Coinbase, all these entities about, well, not literally, but almost 100% quiet for nearly 2 years. But finally it seems to have sunk in. But they could have been doing more the whole time. They really could have, but it is what it is. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.